Find the required information in graph. Classify the conic section. The conic section is a circle because these are both the same and it's positive. Now, when it's a circle, there is a little trick. You can actually just go ahead and divide everything right now by 2 to help. It'll make the completing the square part easier. So we're going to divide everything by 2. This is the only time you really should do this is if it's a circle. So from now when we group our x's, we have this. And when we group our y's, we have this. And then we have negatives. It's like negative 8.5, right? I think we'll just keep it as negative 17/2. And then we're going to put blank and a blank. Now half of 1, this is a 1 right here. So half of 1 is 1/2. 1/2 squared is 1/4. So that's what we're adding to this side. Strange, I know. So we're going to add a 1/4 to this side. Half of 1 is 1/2. Half of 1 is 1/2. 1/2 squared is 1/4. That's what we added to that side. When you go to factor this, half of 1 is 1/2, but that's also the square root of 1/4. And that's squared. So the x part's done. Now half of 7 is 7/2. 7/2 squared is 49/4. And that's what we're adding to this side. 49/4. Now when you go to factor the y, half of 7 is 7/2, which square root of 49 is 7/2. Now over here we have 49/4 and 1/4, but this one's halves. Let's change this one to fourths by making it negative 34/4. So we have negative 34/4, 1/4, so this is 50. 50 and negative 34 is 16/4. 16/4 is 4. If you punch all this on the calculator, it should be 4. So this is the equation of your circle. The center is negative 1/2, negative 7/2. That would be negative 1/2, negative 3.5, which is about right there. And the radius is 2. And that would be your equation. Your graph. This one is a hyperbola because one of them is negative and one of them is positive. So I'm going to start with the y's out front. I'm going to group my y's. I'm doing that because those are the positive ones for now. I may have to switch back later, but for now, I'm starting with the positive term out front. And then I'm going to put the negative x squared term here. And then I'm going to add 29 to the other side. Starting with the y's, take a 4 out. Half of 4 is 2. 2 squared is 4, but we're adding 16 to the other side. The next one, factor out a negative 9, which makes that a positive 2. Negative 18 divided by negative 9 is positive 2. So half of 2 is 1. 1 squared is 1. So we're adding a negative 9 to the other side. So I guess we get a 22 there. Oh God, these numbers are not pretty. Is that what you guys got? 22? Oh, no, that's not 22. Oh, wait. I added wrong. It's 36. And that's nice. Okay, sorry. Phew, that 22 is ugly. That's a 36. All right, divide everything by 36. And factor at the same time. So we have y plus 2 squared. 4 goes into 36 9 times. Factor the x family. 9 goes into 36 4 times. And this is your standard form. It says foci, but it should be, oh, okay, that's right, because it's plural. Never mind. Your center is, find the x. Your center is negative 1, and then the opposite of the number with y is negative 2. So that is right here. That's the center. Starting with the a squared is equal to 9, so a is plus or minus 3. Those are your vertices, movements. So from here, you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Those are your vertices, so let's label those. That's -4, -2. And this one's 2, -2. Vertices are done. You do not have to list the other ones because they are negative. So they really aren't there. Now, we are going to draw these though. We're going to go 2 up and 2 down. Oh, whoa. I just did that wrong. This plus or minus 3 was supposed to go up and down. So I've just messed this whole graph up. I need to get some white out. No white out. No white out. Okay. I got to redo this. So the 3, 1, 2, 3 was supposed to go up. I'm making these really big now. And 1, 2, 3, these are your vertices. So this is -1, 1. These are wrong. And this one is -1, -5. -5, yeah. Those are your vertices. Sorry about that. Hope you weren't following me. Those are your vertices. -1, 1, and -1, -5. So then the b squared is 4, and that's under x. So you're going right and left 2 because it's under x. You're going right and left 2. So the 1, 2 is here, and 1, 2 is here. So these points are not really here. These little circles. So the box. This is the box. Forget these outside numbers. These are not here. I don't have white out. So those aren't really here. So your asymptotes should go up, down, corners, corners. Now your vertices, since the y is the positive term, they're going to go up and down. It looks like I just hit the asymptotes. I have to take a point off my own work there. This curve should not hit the asymptotes. Now your foci is going to be up here also. Those are found by taking c squared equals 9 plus 4, which is 13, which is plus or minus radical 13. Which is about 3.6. So from the center, count up 3.6. 1, 2, 3.6. I made that so big it's kind of hard to get the 3.6 in there. Okay, so how do you write those points? They are on the same vertical line as x equals -1. So that part of the center stays the same, but you're changing the y by adding and subtracting radical 13, and that's your foci. Your asymptotes is going to be y minus the y coordinate of the center, which is y plus 2. Now if you counted this, it would be 1, 2, 3 over 2. So the slope's 3 over 2, plus or minus x plus 1. I don't care if you separate that. That's your asymptote equations. Write the equation of the hyperbola center. So you can see the box right here, right? So in that middle of the box is the center. This is your center right here. That is -1, -2. That's an important number. Okay, it's going up and down. So you're going to have this type. I like to look at my equation on the formula sheet. Write that down. This is an up and down hyperbola. That's so you get that written on your paper. Now the center is -1, -2. So this should be x plus 1 squared. And this should be y plus 2 squared. Equals what? So we got most of it done already. Now we just have to count the vertices, which are going to go under y. The up and down part's going to go under y. So you have to go 1, 2, 3 up, and 3 squared is 9. And then to get to the box, you're going to go 1, 2, 3 to the left. 1, 2, 3 to the right. So that's also 9. And that's your answer. 13. Write the equation of hyperbola in vertex form that has the following information. So 9, 12 is like up here. And then 9, -18 is way down here. Those are your vertices. Okay? So because those are your vertices, your hyperbola has to open this way. So again, we're going to start with our general formula, and then we'll fill it in later. So the center is the midpoint of 9, 12, and 9, 18. So if you did like a midpoint formula, you'd go 9 plus 9 over 2 and 12 plus negative 18 over 2. This is the midpoint formula. 18 over 2 is 9. This is negative 6 over 2, which is negative 3. This is the center. It's the midpoint. So 9, negative 3 is like right here in the middle somewhere. 9, negative 3. So this means that this is going to be x minus 9 squared. And this is going to be y plus 3 squared. There's the minus. There's the equal 1. Now, so this means that A is the distance from center to the vertex. So if you were at 9, negative 3 here, and this is 9, 12, from 12 to negative 3, that is 15. From negative 3 to negative 18, that is 15. That means that A is 15. It's the distance from here to here, from here to here. So that's one key number to help me find these numbers. Oh, actually, I can put that in right now. A is 15, so this is 225. Now, the B is what I need, but I don't know anything about B right now, but I do know the foci. So let's look at the way these foci are. It says 9, negative 3. So that's the center, right? Actually, you can tell me the center right from here. That's the center without doing any work. So that's the center, 9, negative 3. So we were right. And it looks like this C is the radical 229. So it looks like C is radical 229. Because that's the distance that you're adding to the y-coordinate for the foci. So your foci formula is this. Since C is radical 229, you're squaring that, and A is 15, you're squaring that. This becomes 229, and this is 225, so B squared is 4. And I don't need the B, I just need the B squared, so you put a 4 in there, and you're done. 14, write the equation of the circle and form given endpoints. So you have negative 12, 10 as one endpoint, and negative 18, 12 as the next endpoint. I have to graph these. Let's go by 2's. So negative 12, 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That's 1 point. And then negative 18 would be 14, 16, 18, up 12. These are the endpoints of a diameter of a circle. So your circle is going to look something like this. So the center is the midpoint of these 2 points. So midpoint formula is negative 12 plus negative 18 over 2. 10 plus 12 over 2 is negative 30 over 2, which is negative 15, and 22 over 2, which is 11. That's the center of the circle. That's what we have so far, and now we just need a radius. The radius is the distance from negative 15, 11 to either one of these points. So, or you could do the distance of these 2 points and cut it in half. But I'm just going to use negative 15, 11, which is my center. And I'm going to use negative 12, 10, and I'm going to use the distance formula. So negative 15 minus minus 12 squared plus 11 minus 10 squared is negative 3 squared, which is 9, and that's 1 squared, which is 1, so it's the square root of 10. That is your radius. So if you did radical 10 squared, it would be 10, and that should be your answer.